Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Buster Show. On today's episode, we have Tsunami Papi, Kelly Oubre Jr. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
So, first things first, how are you feeling right now? You've got a big month coming up. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Uh, how excited are you about everything to come?
Yeah, man. Well, I can answer one question at a time. I'm doing very well. Just blessed this off season, so I'm in control of my routine and my structure and my schedule every day. So that's just consisted of playing basketball and being with my family every day. So that's the beauty of the off season, but just getting better, and constantly just growing on aspects of the past season that you need to grow, and that's my favorite part of it. But I'm feeling good, super excited. As the days tick and the weeks come, obviously free agency gets closer and closer. So, I'm just focusing on each and every day, one day at a time, man. Trying to control what I can because I know it's going to be crazy whenever free agency kicks in too. So, just trying to just be chill before the storm comes, man. So,
Makes sense. How
yeah.
much do your off seasons change from one another? And is there, a specific thing that you lead and head into each off season wanting to work on in particular? Like, oh, this off season I'm going to work on my handles. This off season or that, or does it just sort of change throughout?
Honestly, man, we just look at a lot of film from the previous season to see what I got better on and see what I need to add in my game to see what I got better with. So it's just the fundamentals, man. I believe that each and every player should always work on the fundamentals, because that's the basics and the foundation to our game. So just make sure I'm crafting those and perfecting those. I feel like everything else would just be a spawn of, the basic things that I work on.
That makes sense. Now, what do you want to show people that you're capable of that, maybe you don't think you have shown people yet? You've shown people that you can drop 40 in big games. You've shown people that you can play in the bright lights. Is there anything in particular that you feel like you haven't shown yet that you want to?
Realistically, like I would just let my game speak for itself. I don't feel like I have anything to prove to anybody because what I bring to the game of basketball is very essential, and it's timeless. I bring passion, energy, offense and defense, passion, energy, kind of like the full package. So, I just want to put everything together, and I think it'll be really beautiful and like sexy when I put everything together. You know what I'm saying? So,
I love it.
Can't wait for my game to be a little more sexy.
I love it. Now, what kind of pride do you take in being, a true two-way player? Is that something that you feel, prideful over?
That is me, man. I love guarding the opposing team's best player. And I also love going at them on the offensive end, for however long, I'm in the game for 48 minutes, 30 minutes, 36 minutes. It doesn't matter. I'm coming at you. But I take, pride in just competing against the best because at the end of the day, like, I respect the best, but at the end of the day, I want to be the best as well one day. So, it's just a competitive thing for me to continuously just push, the whoever's supposed to be at the top of the food chain or whoever, is the guy on the other team, man. Let's go at it, So.
You mentioned, watching film during the off season, looking back at the season prior. I imagine that's a lot of film of yourself, of your games, but do you ever go back into the NBA archives and look at specific players, or is there anybody who you've been looking at recently from, further back?
I take a bits and pieces out of everybody's game. I think that, you can add a little bit of everything to the bag. Guys are great at specific things, but we all can play the game of basketball. So it's kind of like, you give a guy basketball who's really good at it, he can probably do what the next guy can do with it. But at the end of the day, it's about what you see that works and fits your style and who you are as a player. So, yeah, I take bits and pieces from everybody. Obviously, Michael Jordan and Kobe, footwork, that was very impeccable for them. And that's something that I'm focusing on right now. It's my footwork, adding that to my game. Kyrie, Steph, even, just being able to move their feet while dribbling and handling the rock and making decisions with the ball. It's very special. That's like another IQ level that, you have to continuously work on. But it's a beautiful, it's the art to the game as well. So, you know.
Totally. Now, what in your eyes do you want to bring to teams, heading towards a big month? What in your eyes are those things that you want to bring?
Leadership, energy, and positivity. Just, I want to bring myself. I am who I am, and I'm obviously, an individual who you'd love to have me in your community, in your city. So, I just can't wait to, join a family aspect and continuously understand that I'm potentially have the chance to be there for a while. And kind of just take everything one day at a time and just get to know that new environment and just make it home.
Totally. Speaking of bright lights, which I had alluded to before, last time you played at Madison Square Garden, I believe you put up 19 and 8. Playing against Luka Doncic, who's big name obviously in Dallas, you put up 40. Is there something about the bright lights that brings something extra out of you, or is it all the same?
Nah, I think it's always been that way for me. Yeah, the brighter the lights, the more energy, the more anxiety you have towards it. So the more you have to kind of perform, or you at least have to, step up to the plate because for sure that it's go time. This is the main stage. So I know for a fact that I just love to compete, and obviously being, in the mecca of basketball, it's just, the lights are super bright. You love to, go out there and perform because at the end of the day, everybody comes to the basketball games like it's an art show or a fashion show or just a hangout, to watch good hoop, good culture, and to really just see who's there, who the it crowd, the who in the know people. So it's really like a big thing to be able to perform at the Garden. So everybody knows this, and it's a blessing to be able to play there as a basketball player.
Totally, and those fans are crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's understatement.
I'm sure you watched The Last Dance, but one of the big takeaways I got from that, you mentioned watching Michael Jordan a lot before, was how, he would play even better when somebody heckled. And this was something as a fan that I never understood, because if any basketball player is good enough to make it to the NBA level, that means they dealt with those, hecklers and people like that their entire life. So
Right.
If they're at that level and they're on the opposing team, you would be in, doesn't sound like it's a great move to yell at that player because they're gonna be better. Is that something? Is that something you've ever thought about?
Yeah, I mean, for me, no. I mean, I try to zone everything out. I try to just look into the 4 lines on the court and just be in my zone when I'm out there. But obviously, you hear things. You hear people talking. If somebody says your name, you'll hear it. But you can't pay it any mind. Obviously, you have to be locked in on the game and the task at hand. But it obviously turns you up because you're like, okay, if you make a mistake and that person is laughing at you, it makes you feel like, a certain type of way. And then you go harder the next time, you get a chance to do the same thing. And you eventually succeed so that they can't say anything. So it's kind of one of those type of deals. But it comes with the territory. And it's honestly fun. Without fans, sports will be nothing.
Totally. Have you ever had any great one-on-ones with a heckler before, in terms of them, saying something and then you going out and then, giving them the eye back up the court?
Not really. Like for me, I'm more of a if you try to heckle me and I do something, I'm gonna stare at you and give you a mug, one of those. But it's just kind of more so, or give you a salute or something. But just to kind of make you feel interactive to the game because I know you're watching. So. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's pretty funny.
I used to have a lot of antics with me, but I don't do that anymore because I just want to respect the game and just let the game and play and let my game speak for itself now.
That makes sense.
But I still love to, to put on a show while I'm out there. It's a performance at the end of the day. That's why we work hard each and every day to, sharpen our knives and our tools because we're performing every time we step onto that court in front of those fans. It's a test. So.
Of course, got to. Now, in terms of, staying locked in on the court, that's one thing. But then staying locked in off the court is a totally, different thing. Social media can be pretty crazy and wild, as obviously you know. How do you, or do you block out that noise? And are you the type who has Twitter fingers, or no?
No, I'm not. I literally probably have 2 tweets in the past year, probably. Nah, probably more, but I don't really like to tweet like that because I don't look at Twitter. I don't look at my feed or my timeline. The people that I follow on my Twitter, or either we have crossed paths in life, or it's just a mutual respect type thing. I'm sorry, loved ones, if you have a campaign or something positive going on, then I'll listen to what you got to say, but I really don't care about the people's opinions. So, other than my circle. So that's what it is, man. Twitter is just, it's like news, but everybody has a voice. So, it's kind of, you have to filter a lot through the bullshit. So.
Yeah, I think generally that's a really good thing. Anytime anybody pays attention, you're gonna hear what you don't want to hear, no matter what it's about or when.
Nah. Instagram is that's, I'll be on that a little bit more, but at the end of the day, that's also tamed because you can only look at so many pictures, man. You have your life to live here, but if you go on Instagram, it's technically you're like looking at other people's lives too. So you're not focused on yours as much. So.
If only you were teaching the nation's youth.
I'm one of the leaders of the new generation, so I'm down to do that. That's my job.
I love that.
They're next up, man.
Now, one thing you mentioned earlier, and I think this is definitely an underrated aspect about guys joining new teams, is certain guys do love to be involved in the communities. What are those sorts of ways that you like to get involved? And are there any things that you haven't done that you want to do in the future?
No, really. I mean, I've always loved to just touch the next generation. For me, and I would also love to tie in creative arts and help kids who are more so in eccentric things like band, art, dance, things like that, find a platform. But also people who are have different passions or don't know what those passions are. I want to inspire kids to find that and be unapologetic about what you love to do and be you, and be great at it. That's my biggest thing. But I've given out scholarships each and every year. I've been in the league to, high school students to go to college, or to use to go to college towards their tuition. So it's just whatever I can do to help. That's what I'm going to try to do. But I love to touch kids who don't necessarily know or haven't found their soul yet. I want to at least be a bridge or a resource or a motivator to help them do that.
At what point did you sort of find yours? At what point did you realize that basketball was gonna, be such a big part of your life?
Well, I started out doing Taekwondo when I was younger. I eventually got my black belt, and then I was all right, I'm gonna try playing basketball. So I started playing basketball. I can't really sit here and tell you the age. My dad would have to tell you, but started playing basketball, and I was like, okay, I like this. I'm getting better at this. This is fun. I could do this. So I just, my dad also played basketball in high school and college too, so it made it easier because he was always in the gym with me. So so I've been just playing basketball my whole life, technically. But I started off doing martial arts, it helped me, my fundamentals, my discipline, things like that. So
I'd imagine confidence too, especially
confidence and chi, things like that. So.
Did any of those black belt skills transfer over to the court?
Let's say how flexible and athletic I am. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm so wiry and agile on the court, is because I know how to use my body. I know how to take and manipulate strengths from certain spots and be stronger, and use my mind to create whatever I want to type of thing.
There can't be that many professional American athletes that also have a black belt.
It's probably one I know of, James Johnson. That's it. Yeah, I don't know anybody else though, but hey, Godspeed to them. Whoever has one, man, salute.
Is that something that you would recommend to kids who maybe don't yet know what sport they want to play, but want to get involved in something?
1000%.
Yeah,
I kind of want to open my own dojo one day.
that would be dope.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be the instructor, but just have a chain of them around the world, and vet out some of the best, martial arts senseis and things like that.
Cool.
So,
Are you a UFC fan at all?
no, not really. I don't really like UFC. It's really gory.
It
I know
is.
it's kind of contradicting, but yeah, my dad likes that shit though. Just sit there watching beat each other up.
Where did your nickname come from? What's the origin story there?
The elevation of water, man, for real. That's all it is. Obviously, I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, and I
That makes
believe
sense.
that everything happens for a reason. Like, I can't sit here and I can't sit here and control the future. So I can control it now though, and whatever happens, I have to adjust with it. And kind of be like water. But tsunami is kind of one of the biggest forms of water that that you know of. So I just want to be that inspiration. It's one of the biggest inspirations of somebody who kind of just unapologetically was him, and respectively was nice and loving and caring, but also just inspired for just doing my own way for.
Did he inspire your martial arts journey, or did you discover him, when you were already into it?
I'd definitely say after the fact, because I didn't really start, I had to go through some things in life to really hone in on finding my soul and my purpose and things like that. So yeah.
So for the youth, what would your best advice be for people who want to try to discover theirs? Do you think school is a good route to that? Do you think sports, combination, or is there anything else that you think can help people sort of discover that side of things?
Yeah, just being open-minded for real. Definitely, I think you should learn as much as possible. Knowledge is 100% power. So learn as much as possible and just be curious and ask a lot of questions to see what you like and what you don't like. And it's trial and error also. Learn from people's mistakes. So,
Totally. Now, one thing I wanted to be sure to ask you about, if you look at NBA fashion back in like 2000, 2001, 2002, you look at the draft suits, from like LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, those guys. Some may like it,
Sunday service ones.
but they were. Others would say that it's interesting, and I'm on that side of the fence. NBA fashion has come a very long way. And I think social media and Instagram have only propelled that because people want to see what guys are wearing. And I think, sneaker culture too was a huge proponent of that, becoming, 10, 20, $30 billion industry in its own. So people naturally, since basketball shoes, which no other sport has in the same on-court / casual sense, like baseball cleats, nobody wears football cleats, nobody wears hockey, obviously not. Track, it's sort of different, soccer is different, but basketball has that, from growing up to, obviously you love fashion and you're heavily involved in that side of, the NBA world. What has it been like to sort of see that progression, and was it ever noticeable, and how much do you now enjoy that being something that people like?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm just happy that that's kind of becoming more of a normal thing, honestly, because when I came into the league, I took a lot of flack for just being me and wanting to dress and look nice and look put together. It's bold pieces here and there, but at the end of the day, it's just my expression, my form of art in a way. So I took a lot of flack because people were questioning my character, and still to this day, who don't really know me and know, what's in here and hadn't sat down and had a conversation with me, they would think because my fashion, my love for fashion or my love for art, I'm not focused on the game that I love, which is truly false, because I'm a businessman at the end of the day, and I'm a professional athlete too. So we can sit here and talk about, ideas like real men and businessmen if you want to, but that's not here. Don't judge a book by its cover, because everything is constantly evolving, and I feel like when I got to the league in 2015, we forced the younger generation, my generation, and the younger generation coming up today, we're constantly forcing the older guys to step their shit up. You see, like, what were these guys wearing back in the day? Like, and then all of a sudden now these guys are, fashion kings doing their thing like that. Like, nah, bro, it's an evolution. But they also know that there's other people coming. There's other people doing their own thing too. So it's a beautiful cycle for real. It's how things are supposed to be in a positive way. So, even this year it picked up, and I kind of took a step back, and there was not really that good of a tunnel because there's a parking garage in Golden State. So obviously not really that many pictures. And I was more so chilling this season, trying to find my way, find my groove. But I was just happy to see, like, how big league fits and all that stuff is getting, because, yeah, man, it's been a long time coming. And it's about time people could really express themselves through the arts and sports.
Totally. Now, because I didn't never really understood until recently the importance of dressing nice. It's like a respect thing for everybody else around you too.
Yeah, it's each his own, man. Some people don't. Some people just be wanting to, exist and go about their day and be comfortable. I understand that part, but for me, man, I have to, it's just like, you see, I got chrome on right now. Like, imagine, like, head to toe chrome for real, but I'm inside the house chilling. You dig? Like, but that's me. Like, every day I wake up, I really feel good. So I would, express myself through the clothes that I wear, because that's what people look at me and see, So that's all it is, man.
Are there any crazy pieces out there that you've had your eye on, or something, or a designer that you'd want to collaborate with, or something like that?
Well, Dope Soul is coming soon. We're going to start dropping some capsules soon. We're just fine tuning all the details and production right now, and then we're going to roll everything out. But just wanted to put that out there. But also, man, this is one of my favorite brands, Chrome Hearts, because it's they're timeless and everything is super, fine tuned, and homegrown and organic, and I love that. And so I feel like that's the art in it, down to the smallest details. So, that's one of my inspirations in this thing. But anybody else I would collab with, couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now. No.
The Chrome Hearts pants are the craziest to me. I think once I saw, might have been Travis Scott. He was wearing like rainbow ones. Just or it might have been Drake actually. But
yeah, they got a whole lot. You probably could find me in a pair too, but
insane.
Shit, I need a plug on those. Where you at? Shout out to the Stark family, man.
Yeah, Chrome Hearts is such an interesting brand too. I feel like if you look back at like older hip hop photos, you'll see guys wearing it. Like, you'll see Jay-Z wearing Chrome Hearts like 10, 15 years ago. But I feel like only recently, people started putting it on such a pedestal.
Oh, I didn't even know that it was around that back then. It's crazy.
Now I've got an interesting question you've probably never been asked before. I know that you, the sports card industry, similar to the sneaker industry, has just exploded in the last 5 to 10 years, especially the last 2. I wanted to ask you, since you've signed cards for Panini for years, since, your rookie year, what do you think the most Tsunami Papi sports card has ever sold for?
That's tough. I don't want to lowball myself, man. But
I have the number.
Oh, you do? Wow. Okay.
I have the number.
I'm gonna go 2,500, man.
On the dot, you got it right. $2,500. You were the first person that I've ever asked to land it on the dot. It was your one of 2 rookie patch auto with the little championship tag from when you were with the Phoenix Suns on the back, out of a product called Flawless. But the funny thing is, that's not even your best card. That's just the best public sale. The actual best card is what's called your logo man. So it's a little Jerry West logo put on a card. You signed it probably back 5, 6, 7 years ago. And that would be worth, if I had to guess, probably 10 to 15 times more.
Oh, wow.
So
That's dope, man. Hopefully that price keep going up, man. I'll keep showing love. You know?
do you save any of your own collectibles? Like, do you save jerseys? Do you save sneakers? Do you have like your own personal collection of like other guys' stuff too?
Gotta save jerseys. I more so save jerseys of my own self. Jerseys from my childhood and growing up in the circuit, team, things like that. Yeah, I don't really have anything else than that.
That's pretty dope though. Did you have a favorite player growing up?
I would say MJ. He was just basketball. Imagine in the '90s, he was basketball. So I think he's my favorite player to this day.
Well, him and Bruce Lee are some two pretty good icons to look up to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The people that bless this earth for sure.
Now you mentioned, wanting to open up a sort of dojo and, around the world training guys. Are there any other, business aspirations that you have? Have you ever, thought about, I'm sure you invest in early stage companies, but have you ever, thought about becoming a venture capitalist on the side, or one day?
Yeah.
What are sort of your passions on that front? Are there specific industries that you're more interested in than others? What are you thinking about on a day-to-day there?
Well, film and media is something that I'm pretty passionate in. I have also Doso Production, which is a production company that I'm growing along with my clothing line. But that's something, here nor there, because I don't want to get into that unless we're sitting here talking about business for real. Because other people will look at that and, perceive me as not worried about the game that I love. Like I said, and that's not the case at all. So, I'd rather just hoop, continue to just play the game I love and be blessed to invest whatever I make in it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to ask, who do you think are some of the most underrated guys in the league? When you look at, your career from Washington to Phoenix to Golden State, played against everybody from some who are retired now, some, who just came in the league, weren't playing when you first started. Are there any guys that stick out to you who are, you're like, their game isn't really appreciated, by the media?
Well, Drew was getting his roses. Shout out to just won a ring to Drew Holiday. He was one of my favorite players for a while. Who else? Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, it's really hard for me. Like Drew Holiday's just always been a solid, thorough professional. Chris Middleton too. I'm just kind of going off because that's the last people I saw play. But yeah, like myself, I feel like I'm but that's here nor there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Maybe those three.
That's awesome. Now, last question for you. What are you most excited about right now? Like what gets you, the happiest in terms of, basketball professionally? What are you most excited about as we look towards, these next few weeks, months? You're in the gym training, working on new stuff. What excites you the most?
Just growing my game, coming back better than I was last year, and kind of just showing that I am who I am, and, standing on that firmly. So just getting better, enjoying the time to decompress, but also just work my body to the limits, man, and just grow positively. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and just also spending time with my family. It's just life for me. Yeah.
I love that, man. Well, congratulations on everything, and I can't wait to support and continue to watch you ball.
Word, man. I can't wait for another season of Crew League too. So
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Watch that shit.
That's been fun.
Yeah, bro. That shit looks fun for sure.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. You know where you can find this man on social media, and we'll catch you all later. Peace.
Thanks, man.